Also, something that teachers seem to be very much concerned about is incorporating technology in the lesson. How do you think that incorporating technology, to what extent incorporating technology in the lesson can actually foster speaking in speaking lessons? Do you believe that there's certain tools that help, certain tools that hinder the development of
So I
speaking?
think the main thing that facilitates speaking in the classroom is having people who want to engage with other people and are interested and curious in those other people, and they are given tasks which allow them to have meaningful communication with each other. The way I think about technology in the classroom is, years ago I used to work in an English language department in a British university at University of Westminster, and every 4 years we had a British Council inspection, and 1 year I was part of the team who had to have the feedback meeting with the British Council, and they went through and they said, look, we're not going to give you specific feedback, but generally we saw some excellent teaching, we saw this that we liked, we saw that we liked. The one thing we've marked you down on is we didn't see much use of technology. And I said, well, in the classes that you saw, could you give me a couple of examples of how you think technology could have improved the teaching that you saw occurring? And they said, that's not the point. And I was like, well, if the point isn't that technology would have improved what you saw, what's the point? And I think actually the point is that they have a tick box on their inspection form, which is use of technology because it's 2020. Yes, we saw some. There you go. And I think a lot of teachers get suckered into this feeling of, it's 2020 and I'm not using digital tools in the classroom. I can't be a good teacher. I must be seen to be using something. And technology in and of itself doesn't facilitate speaking, okay? What facilitates speaking is good teaching and human interaction. That's not to say that there aren't things that can be done using technology which can also facilitate speaking. You know, it might be that you want students to show each other photos of their family and they use their phones to do that. It might be that you want them to talk in 5 minutes about a crazy science story they've heard, and you tell them to use their phones and read in L1 about some science story they've read and then talk about it in L2.
Mm-hmm.
So all of those things I think are sensible and they can facilitate speaking, but the technology is just, it's an adjunct. For me, what's important is, what is it you're trying to teach? What is it you want students to be better able to talk about at the end of the lesson? What language do you think will help them do that? How is it you're going to try and get some of that language to them? What speaking are they going to engage in and interact with each other via? And then maybe, is there a way in which technology can supplement that or not? You know, and I mean, generally as a teacher personally, I use tech quite a bit in terms of revision and self-study and homework. In the actual classroom, I use myself, my students, space, talking, interaction. And I think actually a lot of the time, students really want to learn how to speak to each other. And you learn to speak to each other by sitting in a room or sitting via a computer interface, looking at the person you're talking to, listening to them and interacting with them. And if you're using tech simply because you feel you have to be seen to be using tech to keep up with the Joneses, it's not a good reason. Mm-hmm. You know, for me, it has to be, how will the technology improve on the non-tech version of what you're doing? And if your answer is, well, I've got a 3-minute video I want to show them and I can't do that without using technology, and after the 3-minute video we're going to have a discussion about this, fine, that's very sensible. You know, if the thing is, well, we're using an online voting system so everyone can show me how they feel, just ask them to put their hands up and move on. You know, which one's quicker? Do it the quickest way. So I'm not pro-tech or anti-tech. I just think you need to have a good principled reason for why you're using tech in the classroom. Yeah. Don't use it for the sake of it. You know, that's the worst reason you can use it for. The outcome's the most important thing, not the route.
When you're in a group situation, especially, I teach mostly one-on-one, but when you're in a group situation, I feel like you have so much going on. Like you have so many different universes in front of you that you can explore. Right?
Yeah.